Welcome, Monster Hunters! In celebration of Monster Hunter Wilds being released last week, I wanted to do something a little different today. Not only did Capcom do a great job of making my mouth water while playing, it inspired me to take a stab and recreate my current go-to dishes while hunting. Not only is this meal incredibly fast to make, chock full of protein, and would be a great dish for your D&D players, so long as they chip in and pay for some of the meat. After all, hunting monsters can get a little pricey from time to time. Looking at our list of ingredients, there isn't much to go over. For the meat, I'm going with a nice 8-ounce ribeye. If you prefer something a little bigger or want to go with something a little smaller like a fillet, go for it. Just be sure to adjust your cooking time appropriately. I'm aiming for a medium steak today. Our mud shrimp is easy enough to acquire. Just be sure it's peeled and thawed out if you're grabbing them frozen. For our wild herbs, I'm going with a combination of parsley, rosemary, and thyme. Just be sure to mince them as small as you can, and we're going to spread this on our steak and shrimp towards the end. Finally, in using a cheat code to grab a second finishing touch ingredient, we need a little oil to coat our skillet. In my case, I'm using olive oil. Remember, we're also going to be using butter, same as our hunter, so we need to make sure we don't get our pan too hot if you're using regular butter and not clarified. A quick real-world glance at what we're looking at here. 1 steak, 8 shrimp, 3 tablespoons of butter, and about 1 to 1.5 tablespoons of our herbs. I'm only cooking for one today, but you can easily ramp this meal up as you see fit. Just be sure not to crowd your pan, and add more butter and oil as you're cooking the additional steaks and shrimp. One thing I'll add that we never actually see our hunter do is salting our steak. So before you go ahead and cook your steak, go ahead and pat it down dry and add a little bit of salt to each side. That'll just help caramelization, help add a little bit of flavor as well. Preheat your pan to about 350 to 375 degrees. Get it hot, but anything more than a medium heat is going to burn your butter in the long run. Coat your pan with a little of that wild seed oil, just enough to get the bottom nice and coated. We're starting with our steak and letting it sear and giving the first side about 5 minutes. Leave it alone and don't touch it. After 5 minutes, we're going to add our butter and shrimp and turn our steak over. Butter provides that delicious flavor, so don't be afraid to put some right on top and even let your steak sit on some of it as well. Once everything is in, cover your pan and let it cook for about 3 minutes. If you want your steak to cook longer, I recommend taking your shrimp out after 3 minutes, or else they're just going to taste like rubber. Once your 3 minutes are up, add your herbs on top of everything and turn off your heat. Transfer the steak and shrimp to a plate and drizzle that buttery herb goodness right on top. I'm not a Neanderthal, so no shots of me eating a steak directly from a knife. This hunter is a little bit more sophisticated. And there you have it, steak and shrimp, a little surf and turf for our hunter, just what they need before going out and getting their ass handed to them by Arkfeld.